Hello, and welcome to Linking to the Afterlife. I'm Donna Boyle, a medium and direct messenger for spirit. It's my job to interpret the images and sensations that appear in my physical as well as my emotional body. Spirit knows what we are ready to receive at this time for our soul's growth. Spirit always knows best. Let's listen in now to the conversation with my guests in the physical and spiritual world. The real question for all of us is, are we ready to hear the message? I have a brother here. I don't know where he came from. Do you have a brother? Yes or no?
He was miscarried. Was an only child.
The brother is here, but I definitely felt him in the non-physical world. Donna saying this. I have a tough time sometimes, whether they're here or not here, because I read souls. And I don't know if they're here or not here, but he was definitely making himself known to me as someone in the non-physical world. His age, I'm going to say, is in late 30s, early 40s. Would that make sense to about the time that he crossed?
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm trying to communicate with your mom at this point, and I don't see her with him. Is she still in the physical world?
No.
So she's there also. Do you think she still holds some sadness? Like before she passed, she still had some sadness about this child. Would you agree to that?
Yes.
Yes. So no good, bad, right, or wrong. Here's what happens in the world of non-physical. Just because I don't see them together doesn't mean they don't interact. But your brother coming this way on his own, just as a statement to say, look, I'm good, but maybe my mom still has some trouble accepting what happened. You understand that?
Yes.
So as soon as I say that, your mom comes trudging along saying, okay, I'm here. Like she knew this was going to happen. She was fine with this happening, meaning this interaction right now. And it was just for us to say she had some challenges before she crossed of this. He just needed to show me that. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yes. You remember this happening. You remember your mom speaking of it. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
My parents came straight from Italy, had me right after my mom came from Italy. I was about 5 or 6, and she thought it was menopause because she had me late at 35, 36, and then found out she was pregnant and had the miscarriage. So I remember her going to the hospital and stuff.
Interesting, because I don't know if I said it, but I was feeling it. I'm not sure if I said it. You'd have to re-listen to this, that it was a younger brother, because yes. I did feel that. I did sense that. And him grown up to be about the age he is now is a fabulous way to recognize his soul expanded in that time. He says, look, I'm here first because I want you to know I'm here first for you. I don't feel you speak with him, but I feel you think about that often. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. I like the way he popped in quickly. I like the way he just like made himself known as soon as the introduction, the basics were out of the way. He said, I'll be here for you forever and a day, forever and a day. If you're feeling that spirit in general, what you might call spirit guides or spiritual beings don't respond to your calls, why don't you call on me? I can do the same thing that all of those other people can do. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
So Maria, would you say that you do that? You call on the spiritual beings, the big wigs, the big guns in spirit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, mostly Mary.
The big guns. The big guns are good, and they're always there for you. And there's no right or wrong way to call on them or who you want to call on. And they'll always be there for you when you call on them. But I, myself, Donna, I love using my mom and my dad and my grandmother as
Mhm.
guides because they know me. They maybe send some different little signs or through my dreams a little differently than one of my bigger spirit guides would. So your brother is saying he's calling himself Saul, Saul, Saul. I don't know if that means anything to you, but he says, that's what I want you to call me. I want you to call me Saul. He said, I can do that and so much more.
Okay.
How does that feel? How does that feel to have a younger brother that you never knew?
It feels great. It feels like I have somebody because all my family is in Italy. So other than my husband and kids. So
It feels good to have someone that knew you since you were that young. That's right beside you.
yep.
He says, I help you dig up the old stuff. I help you dig up all the old stuff that you want to uncover. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when I see that, Donna, when I see that, I literally see him digging the dirt. And I ask him, is this stuff that she's buried and now needs to come up? Or is it just stuff that, we all have and we want to look at the past? And he's saying, yes, all of the above. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
There's a lot of stuff that I hold to myself from growing up and resentment and stuff. But
Yeah. Nice to know now you have this, right?
yes.
I know for me, although I was close to a lot of people in my family, I'm seeing that closeness right now that I have for my 2 or 3 brothers. It was me, 2 younger brothers, and then me and 1 older brother. And we were the ones of all the same age.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it feels like for me. Like they probably know a little bit more about me because they were there during the fights. They were there during the snowball fights, during the
Right.
literal arguments. Does that feel more loving, more comforting for you? How does that feel?
Yes. I've always wanted that.
I feel when you were younger, he was with you when you were born, as well as after he crossed. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he does know everything that happened to you under that age. I think you said you were 6 when he arrived. He arrived and quickly made an exit.
Yes.
He said, you wished for me, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Donna asking, did you wish for a brother or did you wish for a sibling?
A sibling.
He said, I heard your wish and I agreed. And I'm asking him, but then you agreed to leave. He said, yes, because she needed that message, that lesson of growing on her own, of seeing what that feels like by yourself in a family. Do you understand?
Mhm.
And that would make it
Yes.
difficult. Talk a little bit about that, even more challenging on your own. Yes.
Yes, most definitely.
He said, I helped you speak also. Did you have challenges with those words, challenge speaking or challenges learning
Well,
English?
in English, my parents came straight from Italy, so they didn't speak English. So I learned, Italian first and then English through Sesame Street, just, different things. But yes.
So him telling you, Saul telling you, I helped you. Do you remember any thoughts of that when you were growing up? Do you remember the thoughts that someone else was with you?
I always thought I had an angel with me, but truthfully, I always thought it was Mary because I have a very strong connection with her.
I love that you first said that you knew an angel was around you. And I would certainly call him that, your brother Saul, an angel for agreeing to come to be with you, for hearing your wish as a child that you wanted a sibling, and then for agreeing just to implant himself for those few months so that he could be with you in spirit after. I love him for that. And I know you will have now a deeper connection to your soul Saul brother. He gets down on his knees in front of you and prays with you when you pray. He's there with you when you pray. He said, now we're double duty strength. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps for that one. Double duty strength when you pray. He said, I can be an intermediary for you, but if you will allow me, I would rather just be your spirit guide.
Yes.
And he honors the religious aspect of you. And he also honors your ability to open up to so many different avenues of the spiritual world. He's so peaceful. You even notice the sound of my voice just gets more peaceful when he talks through me. I'm just looking, making sure I'm expressing him completely. I feel that as a true soulmate, because I consider soulmates anybody that comes into your life that's meant to teach you something. And also those that have crossed over that are over there,
right,
in the afterlife to help you still. That's what I use a lot of my guides for. They were with me in past lives, and now they're not here in this life, but they're in the afterlife helping me now.
Okay.
Because there's a stronger bond. There's a demand on someone if they're in the physical world. There's more of a demand. There's more interaction. There's more back and forth. There's more contrast. But when our true guides are in the spirit world, there's a deeper, soulful connection. Anything else you'd like to say? You can obviously talk to him right now and not use me now that he's here and you understand that. But anything you'd like to elaborate on now? Any other feelings or thoughts that you have?
Just need a sign of hope that everything's going to be okay with me, the husband, the girls. I know I'm strong, but I need support too. Just that hug, the feeling of being accepted.
I feel that. I'm hugging you from here, and Saul doing the same. Mother Mary is here. She's on my left side, feminine side, creative side. And she appears as the spiritual piece for me. There are a couple different ways she appears. This time as the spiritual piece because of the self-love that she wants to show you, the self-love that she wants to not prove to you that you have, but understand more about. That, yes, you've said this, you do have that, but she wants you to understand more about it and what it is. When we have, she says, when we have this self-love, this love for ourselves first, when we have the understanding that love is within, it makes it simpler and more accepting of those around us.
Okay.
Accepting that those around us have their lessons and messages also.
Okay.
And that it is our true lesson to hold the space of love within us so that those around us have permission to do whatever they need in their life, regardless of how it may seem to us. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
So she says, when you speak to me next, tell me about you. Don't just ask me. Tell me about you. Tell me how you love you. Tell me all the ways, at the end of the day, when you pray, tell me all the ways that you loved yourself. You
Okay.
understand what she's talking about.
Yes.
I can feel the challenge arising. Yes.
Yeah, most definitely. Yes.
I can feel you looking for the moments of self-love and confused. That doesn't feel loving. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
She said, when that self-love flows, it will create abundance, not just in you, but in those around you.
I can't give with an empty cup. I have to fill myself up first before.
And I see the cup being empty. And Mary is saying, you know what's inside. The cup is filled. Now you must learn to love the filling. Oh, that was good.
That is good.
The cup is already filled. Now you must learn to love the filling, because we come into this life filled. Our soul is filled. And then we move along and we forget. And we think that the cup is empty. And we think that there's no way it could overflow because it's so empty. We think that we could never fill it up because it was empty from the start. But that is incorrect. It was filled from the start. The cup was filled from the start. And now you must learn to love the filling of the cup.
Understood.
Ooh, talk to me about that, though. Talk to me how, like, your facial expression changed when I said those words. Tell me how that felt.
I know how to love other people, but I don't know how to love myself. I need to start loving myself the way I am and who I am in order to open up for the abundance and everything else.
Okay, now what?
I got to start loving myself first.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole self-love thing, being Italian, being a mother, being a wife, I was just trained, conditioned, just, they come first. I don't know how to give to myself first.
You do know how.
I just don't know how to put it in place.
Yep. How to put it into practice. That's exactly what was going to come out of my mouth next. Because the cup has been full. So here's the practice, Mary says. Here's what I want you to do. So now she's more the human Mary. She's like, here's what I'm going to let you know. You ready?
Yep. Lay it on me.
In the morning when you wake up and you go to that mirror in the bathroom, say to that reflection, hey, here's Mary. She's here. Woohoo, she's here. And get excited. Maybe give yourself a round of applause. Hey, look, there's Mary. Hey, look, that's me. And get excited.
Okay.
Easy enough to do, you think?
I'll try.
I'll practice.
I'll practice.
Practice. Because I still say it.
I practice.
So, right. Practice everything. Life is a practice. So trying tells me I'm going to fail.
Okay.
Trying tells me I could win or I could lose. But practice just tells me I'm going to be practicing this for as long as I have to practice it.
True.
So
True.
I'm going to be practicing every morning, waking up and saying, hey, here's Maria. Woo-hoo! Let's go have a great day, Maria.
Okay.
Come on, let's go. The second thing Mary wants you to do is make a Post-it note. And every morning, she says, I will put a thought in your head as to what you are going to learn that day. Ooh, this could be interesting, Maria.
Okay.
So when you wake up in the morning, before you even open your eyes, as soon as you're alert, I'm awake, listen in, hear your head, to the thought that Mary is implanting.
Okay.
And then work it so that it's actually going to be a practice for that day. Like my word of the day, same thing.
Okay.
And like you said already, you take that word of the day and you say, oh, how can I make that work? Put it on a Post-it note, carry it with you.
Okay.
If you're driving in your car, put it on your steering wheel. Yep. So it reminds you, instead of just, okay, in the morning I heard the word, but then I forgot. By the time 10 o'clock rolled around, I forgot what Donna said. Got it?
Yes.
Yes. Make it a Post-it note. So in the mornings that Mary doesn't come through or you don't hear it, because she's always going to come through, it's probably just going to be you just quickly moved to your day instead
Gotcha.
of waiting, pausing for that moment of stillness. That's okay. She said, use Donna's word and put that.
Okay.
She said, you might have to get some more Post-it notes. That's a good one. She said, I don't care what color they are. I don't care if they're small or large. If you can fit it all in a small one, fine. If you want to use the same one for 2 days, fine. But no, it's a practice. Remind yourself in every moment, it's a practice.
It's practice.
Maria, I do the same thing. Donna speaking. I do the same thing. And even though it is as it is, because stuff still happens, I still have challenges, it doesn't stop me. It doesn't stop me anymore. And now I'm going to see, because of you, I thank you. Now I'm going to see that filled cup always, and learning to love the filling. Love is love is love is love. You can't love something more or less. You can only love more things. To my guests this week, thank you for allowing me to connect with your loved one. And for all of you listening, thank you for your appearance in the oneness. In this space of love, we all expand in consciousness. If you're interested in a reading for the show or a private reading with me, see the show notes for more info. We appreciate your rating and review of this podcast. Thanks again. Until next time.